Let's speak about Lucid Motors. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and today we are going to be speaking about Lucid Motors. It's been a little while on the channel, and you can probably guess why I'm making this video. If you take a look, it is currently pre-market, and they're down about 18.5%, approaching the $15 mark, which is a very, very important number that we are going to be speaking all about in today's video because it's extremely relevant today. Now, Lucid Motors is one we have covered from literally day one on the channel when the rumors began, and we haven't really stopped covering it since. I initially bought 500 shares in the company. I sold 110 near the top, so we have 393 shares. And I remember I actually got a lot of hate when I made a few videos on Lucid when they were, I believe, in maybe the 20s to mid 20s, very early on, saying that, you know, it's a lot riskier buying there than it was when we initially bought in the 11s and the 12s. And, you know, then we went all the way up to 50s, and people were like, you crazy, you should just keep buying, keep pumping, blah, blah, blah. And here we are, we're nearly back down to the 15s. The reason is because there is no longer a lockup on the pipe shares, so all those pipe investors who bought into the company at $15 a share can now sell them, and that's why $15 is so important. Usually, okay, a pipe for a SPAC is $10 a share, but Lucid's was 15, which caused a lot of controversy back then because it completely changed valuations, etc. But it is what it is. That's what it was. So the pipe was priced at $15 a share back then. We thought we were getting a good deal buying in the 11s and 12s, getting in just above the pipe investors. They actually paid more than us. We beat the pipe on this one. So right before I speak about this, what my plan is going forward, though I actually think, you know, the price is now somewhat attractive to actually make a long-term investment if you don't have a position yet. What I'm doing with my shares, am I contemplating adding more? Can I please ask you, my friend, to hit that juicy like button? I really would appreciate you. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you are doing with your Lucid Motors shares. And please, my friend, if you're new around here, hit that juicy red subscribe button for your boy, okay? So, dear Lucid stock fans, there's another catalyst coming on September 27th. Now, this is something else that's going to be important to keep in mind going forwards. I've spoken about market manipulation, the market movers, you know, the big banks, the people who have trillions to play with, and how, you know, they essentially do control the market in the past. Some people appreciate it, some people hate, say it's a conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah. But I think there's more to this than the pipe exploration just happening now. And I think you're going to have to keep this date in mind because, in my opinion, the market movers could keep the price down for a longer period of time. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see some institutions load the boat maybe around September 20th coming up to this date. But anyway, if you're one of the people who's clicked on this video because you have no idea why Lucid Motors is down, whatever it opens at, market opens in less than an hour and it's down nearly 20%, I'll make it really, really simple for you. We go all the back to when it was announced that Lucid Motors was to go public via CCIV, the SPAC that brought them public. That transaction includes an approximately $2.1 billion cash contribution by CCIV and a $2.5 billion fully committed pipe with an investor lockup provision that binds holders. So essentially, there was a $2.5 billion cash infusion into Lucid Motors based off of this pipe, and those investors weren't allowed to sell any shares. So if we go back to when it hit $30, if we go back further to when it hit the 50s, they weren't allowed to sell anything. That is part of the rule. That is part of the reason they were allowed to buy those shares at $15. Now they are allowed to sell those, okay? And yes, it's leading to some quite huge selling pressure today, evidently. But do you really think that every single one of those pipe investors is going to be selling every single one of their shares today at what is now $16 a share? Not even a 10% increase above what they initially invested? In my mind, that's a little bit crazy, especially if, you know, some FUD kicks in, if people are afraid it's going to keep going, and that adds on to the seller pressure and they FOMO out, and maybe it hits $14 a share. Are those pipe investors who, you know, have a lot of money, have done a lot of research into this company, have met up with management, etc., etc., are they going to sell everything at a loss at that stage? I mean, to me personally, that is quite ridiculous. So that is why this selling is happening today. But in my opinion, and what I have seen with many SPACs in the past when this day happens, I see a lot of people get afraid, okay, and they sell their shares because they think it's the end of the world, it's going to keep going down. Maybe they don't really understand what is actually happening and what is causing this downwards move. Maybe they can't look more than a month into the future towards the next catalyst. Maybe they forget all of the research that they did 6, 7, 8 months ago into the company and why they decided to invest in the first place. Maybe they just realized they're not able for the volatility. All of those things are okay, but really try not to let those things cloud your judgment. A lot of the time, it isn't even the pipe investors who lead to the biggest sell-offs here. It is the retail investors. And I've seen a lot of those guys who do sell out buy back in at higher prices a few weeks or sometimes a few days down the line. Now, do I personally think there's going to be a very fast recovery? What? Okay, that was a glitch. I thought that didn't make any sense. Do I personally think there's going to be a very fast recovery? We're going to be up 10, 15, 20% tomorrow or the next day? Honestly, no. And some of it does come down to this article here. Dear LCID stock fans, there's another catalyst coming on September 27th. Lucid's advancements in the area of electronic luxury vehicles have sparked considerable interest in the company. Now its factory is about to open its doors. September 27th. Put the date in your diary books or in your Google Calendar or whatever calendar reminder type app you use. It will kick off their production preview week at AMP1, its manufacturing plant, in which guests from media, financial, and policy circles will be able to not only view the company's manufacturing facilities in Casa Grande, Arizona, but to experience new products firsthand through riding and driving, okay? This is going to be a catalyst, in my personal opinion. I think we're going to get some nice moves. Do I think, again, it's a reason for a 50+% move? No, whatsoever, no. Do I think it could be a reason for some more analysts to come out and begin coverage? Potentially. Do I think it could be a reason to see some adjusted price targets? Potentially. Do I think it's a reason that, you know, retail investors may start to buy in beforehand? Yes. Could this get trending on StockTwits, Wall Street Bets, etc.? Yes. But in the meantime, okay, I think that the institutions may well want to keep the stock price a little bit lower. Because again, the pipe was at $15 a share. I think that a lot of institutions will be willing to scoop up these shares in the teens, pretty much anywhere in the teens. We've seen them buying last quarter in particular in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. This is institutions, my friends, not retail investors. These guys understand the business model. They understand how market cap works, how the float works. They understand these things. Has anything fundamentally changed, okay, since these institutions have been buying in the 20s, 30s, and 40s? No. The lockup period has ended. Those pipe investors are going to run away with their little bit of profit, and not even all of them are. And it's going to create some FUD. And that is all a part of investing, in my opinion, especially when it does come to, you know, these EV stocks. A lot of them were at this exact stage of their life cycle where they're pre-production, they're getting ready for production, getting ready for real sales, they're getting ready, you know, for a real balance sheet. These things happen because there's a lot of uncertainty. And I think everybody knows that the market does not like uncertainty. Now, if you want to actually have a little look at this chart, the stock price history, it's insane. This was one of the most fun periods of time. Where was it? It was January and February with CCIV. Oh, it was a crazy time on YouTube, in the Discord group, everywhere. It was very, very fun. But you will see here, this is the very, very, very clear area of support right at around 1614. You can see it's actually been broken pre, and it's been broken pre on a couple of occasions. I've been watching this chart on and off for the last hour just to see what happens. Now, if this area of support gets filled, because let's be honest, it's really the only very strong one we have. The one before that was all the way up here right at around $20 a share. And that got broken even without news. Now, I think some of this was due to people selling before the lockup period, okay? So a lot of people who maybe sold in the 30s or the mid-20s in expectations of a sell-off such as this happening, plan on buying back in, and that could lead to some sort of a reversal. But there's going to be a lot of panic selling today, one way or the other. What I would also like to point out is that this is happening on a lot less volume than we had at the start. Look at the volume spikes here compared to where we are. One other thing I'd like to point out is we're looking at a daily chart right now. Look at the technicals. The RSI is already at oversold levels and is pretty much the lowest it has ever been for this company, as well with the MACD being slightly bearish. I mean, if this comes down much further, there could be a nice reversal to the upside. In my personal opinion, we haven't been up at those levels in quite a while. So let's just say worst case scenario, it smashes through that support with some volume. Where do I think we can realistically look towards? Well, we're going to have to literally go back to day one, all the way back here. Personally, I don't see a reason why it should go much lower than $15 a share, but the market doesn't have to make sense. In my mind, it doesn't make sense for it to happen. That doesn't matter. The market couldn't really care less what I have to say. Look, this candle here goes from about $10 a share to the peaks of $14 a share. We genuinely could be looking somewhere in the $13 range or even a little bit lower around the $12 range. Again, I really strongly believe that that should not happen, but we are going to have to wait and see how people react. Now, as an EV stock, I want to compel you guys to go look back at Tesla, okay? Because a lot of the companies I speak about on this channel the most are, you know, getting ready for full production, getting ready for full scale, etc., etc. And I'm not saying anybody's going to be the next Tesla. There isn't going to be a next Tesla, more than likely in my lifetime. But the reason I like to bring them up is just to remind you guys of the tough times they went through circa 2011, 2012, 2013. The media was very, very against them. They had their 50% drops on numerous occasions, okay? Even Amazon had a 90% drop. They had multiple 70 and 80% drops in their life cycle. The same will go for the likes of Apple, Facebook, all of the big companies, my friends, okay? So why would it be any different with these high-risk, high-reward companies? I just compel you to understand why you are investing and if you are investing. Because some people are just swing trading this. This isn't entirely relevant for you, okay? But if you are investing, just remember that, because there's a big difference. Am I stressed out about this? In all honesty, no. I know it's quite easy for me to say because I'm riding 393 shares. I already took my initial investment out of there. If it goes to $0, if it goes bankrupt at some stage, I've still lost nothing. It's a stress-free environment, whatever. There's still money on the line, and I still expect him to do very well. That's why I'm leaving that money there, despite the fact moves like this can happen. Ask yourself, where will Lucid be in 3 years' time as opposed to 3 weeks' time? And, you know, start to get a bit of a clearer picture in your head. But anyway, my friends, I just wanted to make this quick video to let you guys know what I think about this situation, because is what we were speaking about a little bit earlier on in the Discord group. If you watched all the way till the end, you, my friend, are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. That support means the world to me. Could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, drop me that comment down below, and maybe subscribe if you're new around here. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll see you in another video very soon. Peace.